relationships. One of the most important things that I think there is about being human is the relationships that you form with other humans. So we talked a lot about relationships this week and what they are and why they are important. And my biggest takeaway was that the intent of a relationship is actually self-definition. That is to say that we can really only know who we are through our interaction with other people and things. So in order to understand what makes me me and what I want and what I think and what I need, I really need to have a reference point. If there was a human being that existed in like white space with nothing else around and no other reference point, it would almost be impossible. I think it would be impossible for that person to understand what they were, let alone who they were. So with that concept in mind, that we learn who we are through relationship, we were given an assignment this week that's going to last till the end of the semester, which is another 4 weeks, and that is called the conscious relationship. So basically what that means is that we have been paired with one of our classmates and we are in relationship with that person, meaning that we work together on projects and breath work and different assignments, and we touch base with each other a little bit more than we would otherwise. And the intention there is to become more vulnerable with them than we would be with one of our other classmates. No sexy things though, I'm talking like emotional vulnerability, so no kissing allowed and we keep our clothes on. So there was a huge process that we went through where we actually got to partially choose who we wanted to be as our coupling. But basically the teacher said that, it doesn't really matter who you're with for this project at the end of the day, because the point is to learn about yourself, and you can do that with just about anyone. And so that is why it's called a conscious relationship, because it is about bringing mindfulness and awareness to the relationship that we have with another person and how we show up, and really start paying attention to some of our behavior and behavior patterns. Really cool. I'm with this lovely classmate of mine. She's a wonderful young lady, and I think it'll be interesting to see how we operate together. The first thing that we were asked to do as a couple was create a relationship agreement, which is to say a set of rules that we would both follow throughout the course of this project. So some of the rules were an outline of just the boundaries that we were going to have with one another while we were in relationships, so we knew how to interact together. But more importantly, the rules were actually designed to help push each of us to the edges of our comfort zone and really challenge or bring awareness to some of those behaviors and behavior patterns that we do have in relationship that are not serving us well. For example, I am really not great at making eye contact. It makes me uncomfortable. In fact, even sometimes when I'm doing these videos, I don't look right at the camera. I'll look around or I'll ramble and fidget, and I won't actually really pay attention to what's going on right in front of me because I'm uncomfortable being seen like that. So that is something that I want to challenge myself on, and it is my partner's responsibility then to draw attention to the times when I'm not doing that and help to bring it more into my awareness. I'm also going to have my partner call me out whenever I say I'm fine, or it doesn't matter, or I minimize things, because I tend to brush off a lot of my own emotion or experiences. I'm like, oh, it's okay that I got dumped, it's not that big of a deal. I'm sure somewhere in the world, someone's just been in a fatal car crash, or, the Holocaust happened and people survived that. So in the grand scheme of things, what do I really have to complain about? It's not that big of a deal. I'm fine. Just because the worst thing in the history of mankind did not happen to me today doesn't mean that I don't have a right to feel sad or angry. And so I'm going to try to become more aware of the times that I do minimize my own experiences. Also, one thing that we both wanted to work on was being comfortable in silence. So we have an agreement that every day after school we will walk to the SkyTrain together. And one day a week we are going to do that in silence so that we can both just practice being in that space. Anyways, it was really interesting dissecting my own behavior this week. I enjoyed it. Even just sitting down and talking about the things that I do in relationship that are hindering connection or my own personal growth has been really eye-opening. We barely started the project and I already am catching myself doing all of the things that I am trying to not do. So even without my partner there, it's going to be great because I've just brought awareness to it for myself, and so I can catch myself even if she doesn't. So I would invite you now to do the same. Analyze yourself and look at yourself in relationship. How do you show up? And what behaviors do you have that are maybe not serving you well? And then you could consider asking your partner or the person who you are in relationship with to call you out when they see you doing that and help raise your awareness around it. Like being passive aggressive or not saying what you want or just rambling to fill the silence. Feel free to share any of the awarenesses that you come up with in the comments section below. That's all I have for you today for a little lesson with a touch of insight. I hope it was informative and got you thinking a little bit. And I will see you next week.